Shakinaji, first of all, let me tell you that it's my pleasure and luck to talk to you.
So the pleasure is mutual.
So first I would like to know and to go to your personal life and your childhood memories, which will be inspiring, and some of your feelings.
Actually, the day I was born was a day of turmoil. This was on 24th January 1968. Because in those days, there was not really much of an awareness about the fact that a visually impaired child can become a productive element of the society. And I was born in a Muslim family, so my mother was more concerned because she said that if she was a boy, it would have been a little okay, but now she's a girl and she has this problem. How is she going to find a life partner? What's going to happen? Looks are so important in our community. I mean, everything in her mind, like all these things went on,
Mm-hmm.
But my father was a calming factor in this entire confusion. He just told her one thing, that I have heard that people with some kind of a challenge are blessed with certain extraordinary abilities. And I've also heard that people with visual impairment have the mind eyes, the eyes which are inside them, the inner eye of the mind. So those are to be developed, and the duty falls on us. If God has sent this child to us, it is with a purpose. And we have to try our best to make her as independent, as confident, as positive as possible. And that is the kind of message he gave to my mom, and that's the way she and he together have brought me up actually. And the reason I am in the field of social work today also is kind of very much linked to the way I was brought up, various memories of my childhood. Like, I remember that there was, when I was a little child in about 3rd or 4th standard, some construction was going on in my house. And my father once just made a casual point to me that, "Bete dekho, these construction workers who are doing the work in our house, they make a bungalow for us, a nice house for you to live in. But the irony of life is that they themselves do not have a proper home. They are always going from place to place, living in slums or living in small makeshift houses. So it is such an irony of life. And that's where he taught me that whatever you have, learn to share. To see self-dependent, dignified, confident, visually impaired girls. So that I thought was an opportunity when I got an invitation to work with Jagriti, for me to kind of develop that spirit in these girls. I don't know how far I have succeeded, but I'm trying my best. This school, that is the NFBM Jagriti School for Blind Girls, is a special school which caters to the needs of visually challenged girls. In the current academic year, I have got 118 students with me. And this school was set up on 4th January 1989 on the birth anniversary of Louis Braille, the founder of the Braille script. Actually, the school focuses on education of the rural blind girl children. So we have children from across rural areas of different states like Maharashtra, as I mentioned. We have children from Karnataka, some children from MP. And the whole objective of setting up this institution was to make these girls independent and confident women, to transform them. So we bring them from rural areas, bring them from their absolute lower economic backgrounds, provide them with all the facilities of lodging, boarding, education. Everything is given to the children free of cost. We do not charge a single penny to the children. And with this kind of a facility that we give them, from the year 1998, these children have been appearing for SSC examinations. Every year I have had 100% result in the SSC examination until last year. I hope the history continues. And from the year 2001, we've always had students, either 3, 4, sometimes even 5 students in distinction, that is scoring above 75%. The entire focus of the school is on strengthening their academic skills and trying to give them an exposure where they try to aim for higher education. We are an institution with a difference. we don't believe in, giving the children education till 10th and feeling great about it. So what we do is that those of our children who want to pursue higher education, we send them to colleges across Pune city. We pay for their requirements till such time that they become financially independent. After the 12th standard, we also try and help them to get small jobs so that they can, take care of their own studies, because we cannot keep them in our hostel. So we live in Pune, and I'm happy to tell all of you that with our constant efforts of encouraging these children, 3 of our students have chosen to go in for commerce, and they are now in their second year of BCom at the Marathwada Mitra Mandal College, and simultaneously those 3 girls were employed last year by BMC Software, which is one of the most well-known IT companies in Pune, as software testers. They are being trained to test the software designed and developed by BMC for compatibility for using the software by the challenged, physically and visually challenged. So they are drawing about 5,000 rupees per month, each of them is getting. They are taking care of their own education. What I would like to say here is that all of the audience who's sitting here, I would like each one of you to A, visit our institution, and B, I would also like each one of you to help this organization in achieving its objective of giving a dignified life to these students, because it is teamwork. We can't do it alone. We need money, we need volunteer support, we need a lot of help to carry forward this work. So it is my personal appeal to everybody to support this institution. My message to the society, I don't have really a big message for the society, but I have a message for all my women friends, living in India and other countries in the world, that ladies, only you can help yourselves. Nobody else can help you. Strengthen yourself, where a woman on the one hand is worshipped as goddess Lakshmi, Parvati, Devi and whatnot. The other hand, she is given an absolute different, opposite treatment. There's so much of a paradoxical life that we live, and it's only us who can bring ourselves out of this paradox.